call is July 4th, and it's likely that come July 4th, we have different answers to the same questions that we are answering today. So just keep that in mind. And 3 guiding principles as we prepare for the 2020 Strong Start, right? And that is, we want to make sure that we are planning for and preparing for rigorous, joyful instruction inside and outside of the classroom, because we continue then flexibility, right? We want to alleviate worry for parents and students, not exacerbate it, and we want to make sure that we're adapting to meet the needs of our community, given the different communities in which we are operating. So we're going to be moving into the first question, and just so you guys know, we're very much going to share, here's the question, here's where it came from, so that you see the variety of different regions and schools and staff members that are represented, and I'll call on a staff member to answer the question. The answer will also be posted on the slide, and then this entire slide deck is going to be posted on the Strong Start site, which we will make sure we preview for you all and for staff again, so they know where to go and get these answers. So let's go to, one of the biggest questions that we have been getting is IDEA considering starting school online in August to ensure there's no increase in cases among the student and staff populations? That's asked by Lenis Gonzalez, a teacher here in the Valley at Tres Lagos. And right now, today, we are still planning to start school in person or online, depending on what a student or parent chooses, according to the start date of the regional calendar. So that's a earlier date in Louisiana. It's August 10th and 11th for most of our Texas regions. So as of today, we'll be starting online and in person the first day of school according to regional calendars. Jennifer Rivas at Idea Alamo asked, will staff members need to get tested before returning to school? We should work to implement a system where employees need to be tested every 2 weeks or monthly at least. I'm going to ask Megan to answer that question.
No, we are not requiring staff to be tested before returning to work due to the limited access to testing in many of our communities. We are requiring our staff to self-monitor their symptoms, and we will also be monitoring for symptoms upon arrival to campus every day.
Thank you, Megan. So Karen Gonzalez, who's an API in San Antonio, Ewing Hossel, has asked, will IDEA partner up with any testing facilities to make it easier for employees to get tested if they come in contact with someone positive? Kat, if you could answer that for us.
I was on mute. We have a list of testing sites that are covered by our insurance, and they're searchable by location, and we have that for Texas, Louisiana, and Florida. On the Hub landing page, you can go to the COVID resources, and you will find our entire employee resource packet. Gives you all of the information you might need there, and you can also contact your regional HR director.
It's organized very nicely on the Hub site, so folks can go there. It's very easy to see. We go to the next question. If a teacher is tested positive for COVID, this is from Norma Ojeda at Idea Elsa. If a teacher is tested positive for COVID or needs to await test results, what is going to be the process for substitutes in the classroom? Will we still be required to teach virtually?
All right, this is me, Lisa. Welcome, everyone. So if a teacher should have to be quarantined and they're feeling well, they can continue to teach remotely. We'll ask them to do that. If a teacher has to quarantine but cannot continue to teach remotely, they will receive up to 10 COVID paid leave days. And then should they need more time, they will be able to use their 10 PTO days. If a teacher is out sick, they should request a substitute following the same process as we've done in the past.
I want to emphasize this because I don't know, I want to make sure folks know it's new for me, obviously. So teachers, obviously, I'll speak to teachers specifically since this is a teacher asking. They get their 5 state days, their 5 local days, and in addition to that, this year everybody's getting 10 additional paid COVID leave days. So we want to make sure that they know they have nearly 20 days that they could use if they have to. If they are sick and cannot be logging on online virtually at home and teaching. So we want to make sure that teachers know that. What is the plan? This is from Tori Rose. What is the plan for when a student is diagnosed with COVID? And when are they allowed back on campus? Irma.
I'm going to turn this over to Megan, our Director of Health Services. Megan.
Sure, yes. We are following guidance from the CDC and our state departments. So individuals must stay home until they meet the following criteria. And we have this built into our procedures listing on the Strong Start webpage. But so the individual needs to be symptom-free of a fever for at least 3 days. They need to show improvement in their symptoms. So, for example, if they had a cough or shortness of breath, and there needs to be at least 10 days that have passed since the first day that they have shown symptoms. For our campuses, health aides will be working with families to identify that all of this criteria has been met and clear when a student is able to return. And for staff, they will be working with their HR director to discuss when they are cleared to return.
Right, so we've got those protocols here. That was a lot. Earlier that as of today we are planning to start. You kind of want to share what you have learned recently as of today.
Yes, thank you, Joanne. This issue actually came up at the APO principal call. Katie from Farmer Park brought it up. TEA guidance allows schools to have a rolling start to the school year. They're giving school districts the flexibility that for the first 3 weeks, they can limit in-person instruction. So we actually want to poll principals and EDs and VPs and ask you, what is it that you prefer? And we have 4 options to consider. The first option is AFID. Every school, every grade level begins the school year as planned on the scheduled date of their academic calendar, pending any changes that need to happen given local ordinances. The second option is a rolling school start. And this option has us starting with academy the first week, with middle school the second week, and with high school the third week. Now, everybody would start virtually on the very first day of school, but in person, we would start with each individual school a week at a time until we complete the opening in the first 3 weeks. The third option that we're proposing is the rolling grade level start. And this option allows us to start by grade level. So we would group grade levels pre-K to first grade first for the first 2 days, then second through fifth for the following 3 days, and so on and so forth, until we complete over the course of 3 weeks the start of all grade levels. The last option is a rolling start by region. This would allow regions to open schools in person 1 or 2 at a time, so that you build on best practices and build on your plans so that they can inform the entire region, and we have a more successful start to the school year. So this would look like South Flores and May starting, the first week of school, and then the second week of school they're joined by, Judson and Eastside and Monterey Park, and then the following week the remaining schools open, each having the benefit of the previous school openings to inform their processes and their planning. You have on the chat a link to a one-pager that is describing all of these options, including the pros and the cons. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to read through this, and then I'm going to ask you to choose a choice. This is not your only opportunity for input. You can talk with your ED. They have this information as well, but we are trying to gauge where you are at in terms of the start of the school year. So again, I'm going to give 2 minutes for you to look at the one pager that's on the chat box and then answer the poll. We are 1 minute in. Cody, do you have any poll results that are coming in that you can share?
Yes, as of right now, we are looking at about 51% of respondents stay the course, another 32% for rolling start by grade level, and then the remainder for the rolling start by region or by school.
Thank you, Cody. Please share your thoughts with your EDs. I know Lisa has already engaged them in this question, and we are putting out information as quick as we have it for feedback. But if you hear of anything, please let us know so that we can begin working on alternative plans. Thank you, Joanne.
Since I'm already off script, Cody, I want to ask you what I texted you last night. I've seen some chatter in the all staff Facebook page, right, where they're posting like Laredo ISD starting school virtual and online, Alief ISD starting school virtual and online. And what I texted to Cody, who's been the guru and following this for us at the state, is I thought that wasn't allowable, Cody. So how are they doing that? Do you want to kind of share how or why districts are doing that, or what it means?
And I can try and, it's a lot of parsing through the legalese, and there's a lot of fast moving parts. So what I shared yesterday is that districts, we cannot use the term closing down. We're not